Hey, what's up? Just real quick before work. Wanted to make a video. It's kind of rough. It's my first car video. Well, kind of first car video, but I'm trying to edit this shit, but it needs to be said while the iron is hot. So I've heard, I haven't gone on Twitter. I don't really be on Twitter like that, but there's like a whole him too movement. I'm not even gonna fucking call it a movement. It's just a bunch of dumbasses for the sake of being dumbasses. I guess the whole premise is men, and I use the term loosely, men trying to assert victimhood of the possible repercussions of false allegations, which I'll get into in a second. And the thing that really chaps my ass is that they invoke the memory of Emmett Till and what happened to him with it. And as one of my e-homies so poignantly said, you didn't give a fuck about Emmett Till until he fit your narrative, so keep his name out your mouth. Shout out to Jade. There you go. But beyond that, it's like, let's get something straight, man. Like, false allegations are real. I am a early 30s childish frat boy, and being accused falsely of some sort of rape culture, anything in that realm fucking terrifies me. Okay, like, let's get that shit straight. And I'm the one that I guess they're trying to galvanize with this whole movement. But let's get something straight. My fears are purely in the hypothetical. Certain circumstances have to happen in the best orientation for that fear to become a reality. Not to say it's irrational, but it's in the hypothetical. Okay. First and foremost, I have to piss some woman off. Secondly, this typically happens to niggas with a lot of shit to lose. I'm broke. But not to say that it can't happen to broke, and it does, which is one of my points. But here's the thing. You know what isn't hypothetical? What women wake up with every day. The risk of actually getting fucking raped. Okay, men, when we think about it, there's got to be some series of unfortunate events. We got to be in prison, or actually even the military, because guess what? Most rapes that occur in the military, just by virtue of who's in the military, mostly men, happen to dudes. They never talk about it. Most rape victims don't. It's purely hypothetical, but every woman on this earth wakes up every day with the very real possibility that today could be her fucking day, and tomorrow, and the day after that. All right. So to equate him to with me, shut up, my niggas. Like that is bitch assness at the highest level. Okay. Secondly, it's like I'm so flabbergasted at this. I can't even organize my goddamn thoughts, and I'm trying to get this out before work. For the simple fact that him too is in existence, the counter arguments, the people who purport it, and these are some of the dangerous ones because they speak to a nigga like me who disagrees with this wholeheartedly. This whole narrative that only 7% of rapes are falsely accused, which is bullshit. Now, ladies, you cannot consider yourself rational and believe that number. At best, 7% of false accusations have been proven to be false. That doesn't mean that there aren't way more out there that are false. But what is a rape allegation? Rape is already a hard crime to prosecute because it's hard as fuck to prove a crime of circumstance. I mean, yeah, the best case scenarios, and I use the word best, in context, the rapist is a violent fuck. Okay, he brutalized you, he left evidence, and it's cut and fucking dry. Okay, but even then, it's hard to prosecute because the trauma is fucking real, and the most critical evidence out there, oftentimes, the witness is damaged. And I'm not gonna call her a coward because it's not. She's traumatized. It's what the fuck it is. All right, that's what this is all about. So even in those instances, it's very hard to prosecute a fucking rapist. But let's think about the flip side of that. If it's that hard to prove something that fucking happened, imagine how hard it is to prove something, and there's evidence there. Imagine how hard it is to prove something that didn't fucking happen. The vast majority of rapists who don't get prosecuted, it's not because they're exonerated. It's because they couldn't move forward. There's plenty of guilty motherfuckers who get off because the prosecution didn't have what they needed to nail them to the cross. That don't make them fucking innocent. There's a difference. Okay? By the flip side of that, it's like, how many? I mean, and not only just as a man, a black man, we see this all the fucking time. Now, again, typically happens to most people, who are a target on the back, money, future ball player, whatever. And before you motherfuckers bring up Cosby, because I was the same fucking way. I was the same way. But Cosby said it out of his fucking mouth that he did it. Okay. And beyond that, I had to actually, while I was in the military, I was in close proximity and had to supervise a rapist while he awaited justice. And it's intangible, circumstantial, it's biased. I saw the same arrogance, I saw the same snideness in that dude as Cosby. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not here to talk about Cosby. Cut the shit, my niggas. Him too is not a thing. It's not a movement. It's unfucking necessary. The real issue here, other than the obvious rape culture, because we can fix this real shit if we can fix this real quick if we got rid of the environment that women even have to accuse a nigga of fucking rape in the first place. If we police ourselves, if we fix this shit. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. The real issue here is that our justice system is so woefully inadequate. And I use the term justice non-socioeconomically, non-suntan bias. It's so woefully inadequate that we have to choose between extremes. We have to choose between, the premise of justice being blind. Let's clear all the facts. The burden of proof is on the accuser, versus ignoring the very real plethora of victims out there. You're one or the other. And if you choose one, even though either one might be virtuistic in your choice, you want to preserve the rule of law. So you need to hear the facts, even if it means entertaining and indulging a monster, versus you recognize the reality of how hard it is for a victim to come forward, how hard it is to prosecute this case, and how hard it is to know that even you could come forward and do everything. You could be brave and it won't fucking matter because he'll get off or he'll become a Supreme Court justice or the fucking president. You got to choose between the two of those. And that is a function of our broken ass fucking society and this trash ass excuse of what we call a justice system. That does not give you a right to form counter propaganda over something that's not a fucking thing. Because if you really wanted him to, you'll look to the nigga next to you and make sure he keeps his fucking hands to himself. You'll check him when he says some dumb shit about touching and grabbing on a woman or how she wanted it and all this other shit. That's what being a fucking man is. Because nobody, including myself, who's never raped any fucking body, can look in the mirror and not say that he didn't do something, that looking back on it, you never wonder how she really fucking took it because it was normal to you. That's not an excuse, okay? It's a reason. It's not an excuse. So don't use it as one. Check yourself and cut the shit.